So, guys, this video is actually not for you. This is actually for people in the office. So we got a bunch of 20-something-year-olds over here. And we're just going to talk about some basic things you should do, very, very basic, that you can fix your financial future if you just do these 4 or 5 simple things, and we'll keep this an open discussion. It's also super embarrassing that people at LearnApp are not following this, so we picked some of these guys out. But yeah, hopefully it should be fun. Hopefully it should be interesting. Why don't you start with some questions one by one?
I am investing in index funds right now, ETFs. So I wanted to ask, if I would have been investing in individual companies, I would have gotten dividends from that.
Yeah.
So if I invest in index funds, will I get those dividends, or will I get, a benefit of that sort?
That's a good question. Okay, we'll answer later.
सर मुझे एक चीज़ नहीं समझ में आती है ये धड़कन मूवी में सुनील शेट्टी ने 5 रुपए से 500 करोड़ की कंपनी कैसे बना दी? माय क्वेश्चन रिलेट्स टू अमनदीप वो 21 दिन में पैसा डबल वाली बात का मतलब कुछ हो सकता है क्या? ऐसे कुछ है आपके पास?
This is exactly why we're doing this session. We'll answer all of this and a little bit more. So, see, I'll start by saying, 20s में you have to enjoy your life. I think some people say कि देखो सारा पैसा save करके invest कर दो, and when you're 50, enjoy. You don't agree to this, right?
It's also very difficult to do that.
Okay, fine. Agreed. But I think, of course, you have to enjoy your life. Of course, you should go out. Of course, you should do all those things that you should do in your 20s. But I think people not doing anything is a problem. So I think it's a good place to start habit forming. There are 3 things that you have to do. Okay. The first is you have to create an emergency fund. This can only happen via salary. This is very simple. If your monthly salary is 50,000 and you're spending, say, 40,000 or 30,000 monthly as your basic expense, तो मान लो आपका महीने का 30,000 का खर्चा है. एग्जाम्पल. ऐसे हंस रहा क्यों है?
नहीं वो 30,000 बहुत हो गए मेरे लिए.
बढ़ जाएगा. चिल. मान लेते हैं कि 30,000 तुम्हारा मंथली एक्सपेंस है. ठीक है. तो 6 months का जो एक्सपेंस है वो कितना होगा? 30,000 times 6 is
1,80,000.
So basically your 6 month, you multiply 6 months by your monthly expense and you'll get a 6-month emergency fund. This means if नौकरी चली गई, you're on probation, right?
दूसरी बार हो रहा है.
ਦੇ ਚਿਹਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ.
But if something happens and your main income stops, so you don't want to go back to mom or brother and be like, भाई थोड़े पैसे मिलेंगे क्या मुझे? So an emergency fund is important. One thing you should definitely get. Second, ये बहुत मुश्किल है, but you don't want credit, too much credit, too many EMIs, right, Amandeep? Correct?
I don't think so. I already have EMIs.
But it has to reduce significantly.
Yeah.
And you should work towards it, right? Okay. And then finally, you have to have insurance. Some kind of health, at least health insurance. Company provides you health insurance?
Yeah, definitely. I have one.
But it may not be adequate, so you could get more, but you should also get life insurance, okay? So this is the basic. Let's start with the actual stuff, okay? 4 things that everyone should do. Do you know what SIP is? Yeah. Achha, you know, hai? बहुत basic question हो गया क्या?
I mean, I have seen so many ads, like it's feed into my mind, like systematic investment plan. Sahi hai, yeah. It's just impressioned on my mind. So what's SIP? Like the basic fund. I don't know about the depths of it, but yeah, the full form
It's really simple, right? So basically, there is a fund manager. So Aditya Birla, ICICI, Axis, SBI, all mutual funds. There are many mutual funds. I think there are 31 in the country. So they're fund managers. People like us can pool some money every month or lump sum or whatever you want. So I can cut a check of 1 lakh, give it to them, and they'll start managing it. Or we don't have 1 lakh. What we can do is we can say I'll start a 1,000 rupee SIP. And SIP is basically a systematic investment plan. Think of it as a reverse EMI. But you're not paying off an asset, you're creating an asset. So I can transfer 1,000 rupees every month to a mutual fund, and the manager will manage it. That's it. So these funds have hundreds, maybe thousands of crores being pooled by multiple people like us. And they manage the fund, so they understand the market better, so they manage it. We'll talk a little bit more about active management and passive management later. But that's a SIP. Monthly invest kar sakte ho. It's easier. It can be 1,000 rupees also. तो एक सिप तो चालू करना चाहिए. Okay, but I have a question for you. Okay, so there are two people. One person starts in SIP of 10,000 a month. The other guy does 20,000 a month. Who will make more money?
Sir, ये तो बहुत investing reels में देखा है. So it basically depends on time. So more amount of time and you make more money. Basically, that is the case.
Yeah, completely. So I wanted to show you how much that affects, right? So if you look at this over here, we can see that a 10,000 month EMI, a 10,000 month SIP equals to 3.5 crore rupees in 30 years. That's a big change, right? It's just 10,000 rupees, but it's done over 30 years. So because it's done over many years, it's actually 3.5 crore rupees. Okay, the point over here is to show that even 10,000 can go a long way if done for a long time. But if you take this 10,000, make it 20,000. Ab lagega, ab that 3.5 crores should be like at least 5-6 crores. It should be double, right? Because
7 crores at least.
7 crores at least, right? But this guy does it for only 20 years. Thoda time kam hai. So the final amount is actually 2 crores, 1.99 crores. That's a
Major difference.
Reduction of 1.5 crores.
तो अगर ऐसे होगा सैलरी बढ़ेगी तब सिप करेंगे, ये गलत है. You can actually start immediately. So this is one thing I think most people don't understand. I think time really matters. So don't wait too long. Okay, I think the second thing you should know is so there are two kinds of mutual funds. इसको ऐसे समझता हूँ. So there is a mutual fund manager. His job is to create different strategies. So I call this section index funds versus active funds. तो मैनेजर का क्या काम होता है? He has to collect money and then he'll have a strategy. There'll be a quant strategy, there'll be balanced advantage, there'll be a sectoral strategy. अलग-अलग टाइप के strategies होते हैं. And usually these strategies sound very impressive. कि यार अच्छा strategy है, बहुत interesting है. But they also charge a higher fee for managing that strategy. तो ये 1% या 2% होता है. इसको TER कहते हैं, Total Expense Ratio. Actually fees होता है. But finance में everyone says stuff to make it sound complicated. So basically it's fees, but they call it total expense ratio or expense ratio. This could be 1 or 2%, anywhere between that. That is deducted every year. Whether your fund makes money or doesn't make money, whatever that amount is, वो हर साल कटता है. Now, if someone doesn't really care and he just wants to put his money and forget about it, maybe it makes sense. But if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you want to do it. So you're a different kind of person, right? You want to take care of this. So, I don't think active fund to karna chahiye. What you should do is an index fund. Index fund is very simple. Nifty 50, suna hai? Sensex, aapko to pata hi hai, Nishita. But yeah, Sensex and Nifty 50. Basically, these are the top 50 companies by market capitalization. That means by size. They put in an index. And it's a weighted index, they're not equal, and money is put into that. So it's diversified. So if one of the stocks dies or goes to zero, let's say like Zest Bank, it won't matter because all the companies are already there. So index fund is better, but it costs a lot less. So वहाँ पे index fund का charge, can you guess कितना होगा? अगर passive का active का 1%, 2% है, इसका कितना होगा?
0.1%.
Oh, that's a very good. Did you know that?
No, it was random guess.
Yeah, okay.
I think कम ही होता.
हाँ, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 ऐसे. It's really low. So that's pretty low, right? 10x का फर्क है. तो why do you think the TER is low? Like expense ratio low क्यों है index fund का?
Not actively managing, right? मतलब Nifty 50 stays Nifty 50 for a long time until something changes, Yes Bank goes out of it or something like that. So the effort in managing that particular
strategy
thing
नहीं है,
is
वही है,
like,
index ही है. इसको replicate करना है. Correct, that's it. So ठीक है, basically you save time, energy. But you know what's interesting? I think because of that fees and because sometimes fund managers try to be really smart, if you look at this chart over here, what you can see here that almost most index funds beat all index funds beat most active funds. So they also give better returns. So then why will you not?
It makes more sense to just go with the index fund.
I know.
So my major question is that I've been investing in these index funds for now 2-3 years now, and I don't get any dividends. Like I get dividends from the individual stocks that I've invested in, but I don't get dividends in the index funds that I've invested in. So like,
Is
am
there a
I
loss?
losing out on the dividends by not investing in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you are. I mean, in my opinion, I think you are. But I think it's simpler, right? If you just buy an index fund or you don't get the dividends, but it's fine. I do think though, you can create your own portfolio yourself if you can put in that effort, learn how to create a portfolio, manage it, and then you will get the dividends. So I guess the more effort you put, I guess a little more time you put, it becomes better. But yeah, you won't get dividends in there. I think this is so true. Say no to glamour and say yes to boring. इसका क्या मतलब है? Name me 3 stocks जो अभी आए, which have great businesses, changed India. We use them every day. They're probably on your phone, but the stock didn't do so well.
Zomato. Paytm.
Anyone else? Any more stocks?
Nykaa came. Yeah.
Not bad, yaar.
Yeah.
So now the thing is, right, branding is very different from buying a stock. So I think अभी Shark Tank देख रहे थे, and वहाँ पे so a lot of the companies on Shark Tank I feel are not like branded very well. I always felt कि थोड़ा एक वहाँ पे the Birds of Paradise, I think, yeah, Paradise Birds कुछ ऐसा था. It is basically hair color. Okay, and I'm obviously not a user. I've never seen it. My wife had seen it, and they came in and they had like this Apple level of like video, and the logo was beautiful and the packaging was great. I was like, damn man, this is so well branded. So now because of that, you may become a good customer. So like boat ka advertisement might be nice, Apple ka advertisement might be nice. You check something out on Insta, it's like, dude, this is beautiful. There's this Instagram page which says you can't afford this wallet. And then so you want it more. So certain companies are branded really well, and I think for the Insta generation, that's how we judge whether a company is good or not. And as a consumer, it makes sense. But applying that logic to stocks makes no sense. So buying Zomato because you're a customer makes zero sense. Same with Paytm, etc. The business must be good. Here you're an investor, not in the brand, but whether the business is doing well or not. Is the cash flow good? Zero debt hai ki nahi? Growth hoga ki nahi? Is the industry moving? Etc. 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 ROE hai ki nahi? Blah blah blah. Now, since we may not be able to do that analysis because we don't have time, just say no to all of these things. Let me show you something interesting. So I'll show you 2 good stocks. Do not buy these stocks, okay? This is just an example. So we have Hindustan Unilever. ठीक है? Hindustan Unilever का शेयर होल्डिंग पैटर्न. शेयर होल्डिंग पैटर्न माने कि ओनर्स कौन है? तो एक साइड में you have foreign institutional investors. So these are foreign banks. Like Goldman Sachs or different kinds of private equity, etc. Then you have domestic institution investors like mutual funds, domestic institutions, and then you have public. आप, मैं, retail जनता. अब Hindustan Unilever मान लेते अच्छी कंपनी है. Let's look at their shareholding. Look at this. 2019, 2022, promoters are the owners or the runners who are running the business. ठीक है? They own 61%. Do you think that's a good thing? Actually, a very good thing.
Yeah.
61. FIIs own 14%, DIIs own 11%. So they own like 20+%, 25% owned by institutions. The public owns less than 12%. This is a bit. इसको समझ लो, ठीक है? अभी एक और एग्जांपल देखते हैं. Let's look at HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank promoters is 25%. Institutions, foreign and domestic, is 35 plus 25%. कितना हुआ? 60%, है ना? 60% is owned by institutions. And by public is less than 13%. Okay, so आम जनता owns less than 12-13% of these good companies. Now let's look at Zomato and Paytm. ठीक है? Okay, तो and I know Hindustan Unilever and HDFC is boring यार, बैंक है यार, वो दूसरा साबुन बेचता है, तो not cool. So let's look at Zomato. By the way, I'm a huge fan of the Zomato app. I use it every single day. I love you, but I'm seeing it from an investor's eye. Okay, so please mat marna koi, please. So look at, notice the FIIs and DIs together own 15% only, and the public owns 81%. It's just the opposite, dude. I also want to see कि the market then fell after that, okay? That 80 became 33. So भाग गए. Delivery cancelled. And then we had domestic institution owned 50-60%. So that's, I think, very interesting. Paytm का क्या होगा? Any guesses? Look at that. Public owns 90%. The real owner of Paytm is 90% public. What? So the थोड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए ऐसे, right? And then if you look latest, public owns only 21% and FIIs and DIs together own now 77%. So this changed after September 22. But my point is कि good companies are not owned by the public. नहीं लगा आपको?
Yeah, ऐसे देख के लगा.
है ना? तो ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए. Therefore, boring is something you should do. Anyway, was this new?
This was new. So like, can we use this as like a filter when we are we are doing for our?
Actually, no. No. I mean, it's a good check maybe, but you can't base this and say कि ये stock खरीदना चाहिए. So there are two ways. One way is you can do technical analysis and build a portfolio. You can do that. You don't need to use technical analysis just for trading. Nishita knows. Or you can use fundamental analysis and create a portfolio yourself. So I feel मुझे तो अलग ही ट्रेंड लगता है. See, I feel people should learn how to trade and invest on their own. And this is a skill that why do you want to outsource to a fund manager? Right. आप खुद ही कर लो. You have time, you have the internet, you can learn. There's YouTube to learn, there's LearnApp to learn. You can buy books, you can do so many things. You just learn it yourself and do it yourself. Why do you want to outsource it? But if you don't have time, then ठीक है. You outsource it to like a manager. Anyway, तो अब आपको क्या करना है? 4 things. 1. When you become taxable bracket, थोड़ा दर्द हुआ क्या? अगर आपको दर्द हुआ ये सुन के प्लीज कमेंट में लिखो. I will highly relate. I also want you to write, I'm going to learn I'm going to learn investing and change my life. Type it in the comment box. So once you become taxable, then please invest in a ELSS fund. The ELSS fund is a great thing because it teaches you discipline. ELSS will basically lock in that money for 5 years. Okay, Aman? हाँ सर. निकाल नहीं सकते उसका. नहीं, अभी तो डर सा लगता है. तो वो 5 साल के लिए लॉक हो जाएगा. It also teaches you discipline because hopefully you'll see that number go up over 5 years. It's a good, and plus tax बचता है. So it's a nice thing. Yeah. Second is, I think you should automate your investments. You should learn an investing strategy yourself if you're in 20s. You have the time to do it. Why not? We actually have this very nice program called LearnApp Prime. You link in the description. It's completely free, but only people who are interested get access and they can learn how to build their own portfolio. So you should check that out. But once you learn it, you have to do it for a long period of time. Short term में कुछ नहीं होता. Third, ETFs are enough or index funds are enough. So if you can select an ETF or an index fund. ETF क्या होता है?
नहीं मालूम.
पूछा क्यों नहीं है?
ELSS भी full form नहीं मालूम.
अच्छा, ELSS नहीं है. So ELSS, you don't need to know the full form. Basically, it's a tax saving instrument which invests in equity. It's an equity linked saving scheme. So think of it as a fixed deposit. जो बैंक नहीं यूज कर रहा है, it's 5 years का lock in and it's investing in the market and you get a tax benefit. ELSS वो है.
कोई रिटर्न फिक्स होता है उसका FD की तरह या फिर कोई फिक्स नहीं है?
नाइस क्वेश्चन यार. हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बोला. रिटर्न फिक्स नहीं है. इट इज लिंक्ड टू इक्विटी. दैट्स व्हाई इट सेज लिंक्ड सेविंग स्कीम. इक्विटी लिंक्ड. तो अगर स्टॉक मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा तो इट विल मेक मनी. स्टॉक मार्केट नीचे जाएगा इट विल नॉट मेक मनी. जनरली स्पीकिंग, अगर लास्ट 20-30 साल देख लो, 7 years में इक्विटी हैज नेवर लॉस्ट मनी इफ डन इन एन इंडेक्स. ये 5 साल का लॉक इन है. चांसेस वेरी हाई 2 साल और रुक जाना, वर्स्ट केस. तो इवन इफ यू इन्वेस्टेड इन 2008 का क्रैश के पहले एंड स्टिल वेटेड 7-8 years, यू स्टिल मेड मनी. तो वर्स्ट केस वो है. तो फिर जस्ट टाइम है यार, पेशेंस होना चाहिए. दैट्स द ओनली थिंग. तो दैट आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन.
So we are actually 20s kids. मतलब 20-year-old kids. So I think 2020 का crash would be a right, like because I personally also invested before 2020 crash, and that particular portion of money is abhi.
देखो
पढ़
for
रहे हैं।
older folk like us 2020 तो crash था नहीं मतलब but ठीक है but even if you invested then of course you would have made money so yeah there's no doubt about it. You have a question ऐसे लग रहा है कुछ पूछने वाले हो?
वो ELSS में जब हम पैसा लॉक इन के लिए 5 साल के लिए दे रहे हैं तो वहाँ पे हमारा पैसा कौन मैनेज कर रहा है?
Oh interesting. A fund manager is managing it.
लेकिन वहाँ पे म्यूचुअल फंड्स की तरह जैसे आपने बताया उतना कमीशन नहीं कटता, कम कमीशन
नहीं
कटता
कटता है.
कटता है कि नहीं कटता?
कटता है.
कटता है, उतना ही कटता है.
Decent कटता है हाँ. बट वो क्योंकि 5 साल के लिए लॉक्ड है तो इट निगेट्स इट. बट गुड क्वेश्चन. मतलब आई तो थिंक you should invest. I mean, if I were you, I would be a little more risky. Instead of doing the tax saving thing, I would just say खुद का portfolio बना के dividends earn करो and just hold it for a long period. But I'm a little थोड़ा मुझे लगता है मैं ज़्यादा returns कर सकता हूँ by like analyzing the market myself. So if you're like me, do that. If you're not like me, then ELSS. But that's a good question. So that is through a index fund. So you can go to any online platform. I don't want to name a platform. आप लोग खुद Google करके देख लो. You can buy it through that. The other is an exchange traded fund. Exchange traded fund.
ETF.
जोकर है हमारे ऑफिस के
ETF.
तो हाँ, basically it means stocks are exchange traded. So these funds are also exchange traded. So you can log into your broking account, add them like a normal stock and buy it.
Okay.
So जैसे you can add say Tata TCS and I can buy one share. I can just add तो junior Bs है, Nifty Bs है, बहुत सारे अलग अलग Bs करके नाम आता है BEES. But there are other names also. क्यों हंस रहा है भाई?
Like junior Bs. I've heard these names first time. Junior Bs.
हाँ.
Bs. Yeah, good name.
Investing in Bs, junior Bs.
अच्छा हो गया. Thank you. तो Bs छोड़ो. Bs is just a brand name. Junior means Nifty 50 next. मतलब first top 50 is Nifty 50. तो rank 1 to rank 40, rank 50, the top 50 market cap stocks. फिर number 51 to 100. This is next 50 or called junior Nifty. So they're smaller in size but they're also good. तो इसको junior
They are
Bs.
most probably the companies that are going to go to Nifty 50 eventually.
If they mess up.
सही बोल रहा है हाँ. Which usually happens. They mess up. Like Tesla. Lol. हाँ, they mess up and हाँ, hopefully. But it doesn't mean that they'll go. अब सारे बच्चे 10th में थोड़ी पास किए थे. नहीं कुछ नहीं करते हैं. छोड़ो ना. तो ETFs is that exchange traded and then is that बस ये खरीदना है बस. That's it man. That's all. If you can do this. Also, this is a new format we are trying for you guys. If you think we should continue this in your 20 series, ask a bunch of questions in the comments below. And if we get a lot of questions and a lot of likes on the questions, then we'll just continue this series with different people in the office nearby and try to figure this out together. And yeah, hopefully everyone can do a trading or an investing journey and start it here.
Yeah, that is necessary for me, actually.
Super. Bye, guys.